you are listening to another episode of the Bronco Breakdown. Today I'm here with Mariam.
Hi.
And Tiya.
Hi.
Today some of our topics will be the elective independent living and clubs and activities at BHS. So right now we're here with the independent living teacher, Mrs. Katerba. So welcome. How long have you been teaching independent living?
This is my first year teaching independent living. It's actually my first year at your high school. So it's been really fun getting to know everyone in the building and getting to know the culture of the school.
That's great. So can you give an overview of what you cover in your class?
Yeah, absolutely. So many topics. I mean, with a class titled Independent Living, I'm sure you can imagine there's a lot of really useful things that we talk about that help prepare students for living as successful adults out in the world on their own. We start with talking about personal finance. What is it? Kind of getting students oriented with that topic and what it means to them. Discussing strategies for saving and budgeting, managing debt. And then my favorite unit, which is talking about life after high school. What are those next steps that students would take? What are some considerations that you're going to want to be taking into account when you're making those decisions? And then we move into consumer awareness, bargain shopping, those types of things, looking at marketing strategies and techniques that companies will use to try to lure consumers in to purchase their products or use their services. And then we look at insurance, different types of insurance, life insurance, health insurance, car insurance, investing in retirement. Those are also topics. And I think it's hard to look at something like investing in retirement and as a student think, is this something that I need to be thinking about right now? But we talk about all of those types of things, right? Like, when should I start thinking about retirement? What are the options? How do they work? All of those types of things. Money and relationships, kind of balancing and like juggling those two different topics. How do they work together? And then the final subject that we cover has to do with careers and taxes. We actually do a big project, a big mock interview project, helping to prepare students for landing a job. So, we cover resume writing and cover letters and interviewing strategies, all of those types of things. So
that's really cool. What are the prerequisites for your class, if there are any, and what are the requirements to continue with the class?
So there aren't any prereqs as far as a precursor class that you have to take to be eligible, but it is only offered to juniors and seniors to be able to take the class.
Oh, it's great to know.
Does that answer your question, or you need a little more detail on that?
No, that's good.
Yeah,
okay.
That's great. It's good to know that any junior or senior can join. So is the class more fundamentally test-based or project-based?
I would say more fundamentally project-based. We're doing many different types of authentic learning activities that are giving students an opportunity to really apply what they're learning and practice these different concepts that we are talking about in class. For example, there's a section that we're talking about getting an apartment or purchasing a house, and we're deciding on which would be smarter for your unique situation. So we're projecting your future career, starting salary, and then we're working backwards from there to say, okay, well, for your type of lifestyle, what would be wiser for you? And then we have a project where we were exploring those options. Students are exploring those options. So we do a lot of different things like that that I think make it fun and engaging. Of course, there are always going to be some summative tests. So absolutely, that is definitely a component of the class itself, but primarily projects and class activities.
That's really cool. So you kind of touched on this a little earlier, but how do you think this class helps students in the long run?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think one of the best parts about teaching this class is just knowing as someone who's a successfully launched adult, let's be honest, that everything that we cover in class is so relevant, right? So what is a budget? How can I use one to make my money work for me? I think everyone should know that. I think that's so important. You don't want to be enslaved to your paychecks, living paycheck to paycheck because you don't know how to make that money work for you. What is credit? How does a credit score work? What are the benefits of having a good credit score? Those are things that it's really important to understand. So when you get to my age and you're to that point where you're looking at maybe taking out a loan for a car or thinking about perhaps buying a house or those types of things, you're not like, oh, a credit score. Oh, mine is really bad. I didn't know what that was. I never worked on it. And I kind of talked about this a little bit too, what considerations should be taken into account in discerning my next steps after high school. Am I going to take a gap year or am I going to continue on to a 4-year school or a community college or a trade school or something like that? Of course, those I think are at the forefront of many juniors and seniors' minds as it is, but we kind of unpack some of that. We kind of explore that as a class. And then again, that retirement planning, what should I start thinking about? When should I start thinking about that? What are those options? How do they work? How can money issues affect my interpersonal relationships with others? How does insurance work? What does that mean? All of those things are so relevant to a successful adult, someone living on their own and who's managing their life totally without aid from others. And I think it's something that all kids should have. I never had that when I was in high school, and I wish I would have had a class like this one.
Now you answered a lot of questions, but if students have any more questions, how can they reach you?
I would encourage them to just send me an email. My name is Ms. Kotrba, but I recently changed from my maiden name. So I was married, and so Ms. Kotrba is my married name, and I think my email is still my maiden name, which is Novak. So students could send me an email at eanovak@barrington220. So that would be my staff email. That's the best way to get a hold of me because I'm in a lot of different rooms throughout the day.
Thank you so much for coming on here. That was incredibly informative. So remember, if you wanted to join an independent living class, just email Mrs. Kotrba if you have any more questions about it.
Hi guys, welcome back to Bronco Breakdown. So for our last segment of the episode, we are going to be talking about different clubs and activities that we're all involved in. So I'm going to start off first. So the first club that I'm involved in is Interact Club. So Interact Club is basically like a service club. We do tons of volunteer opportunities, and we do like some small service projects, some big service projects, and I'm a board member there. So I really encourage everyone to go and join the club because you'll be giving back to the community and making new friends at the same time.
And a club that I'm involved in, well, it's sort of two separate clubs, but they kind of go hand in hand, is FHP and HOSA. And FHP is Future Healthcare Professionals, and that's basically if you want to be anywhere in the medical field when you grow up, or if you kind of have thinking that you might want to be involved in that. It's a really cool club that has a lot of experiences that you might want to watch or learn about to maybe help you learn about what field you want to go in. And then HOSA is standing for Health Occupants Students of America, which is a club where you can compete in different events related to medicine. So me, for example, I'm in an event with medical terminology, so I have to basically study a lot of different kinds of terms and endings and stuff like that. And then you compete in state. I'm actually going to state later in March, so I'm pretty excited about that. So if you want to do anything in the medical field, I highly recommend joining either or both of these clubs.
One of the clubs that I'm in is Debate Club, and this club is basically if you're interested in anything like politics related or like foreign policy or economic, you can join Debate Club. And it's basically you create speeches based on topics. There's 9 topics per tournament, and there's 6 tournaments per year, not including state. So if you make it to state, then you get 7, 8, 9 tournaments a year. And basically, each tournament, there's 9 topics. You get to create speeches based on those 9 topics, pick your side, and then you get to give your side in speech. And you get to basically, it's like a debate, like you see on screen, where you see 2 people debating each other. It's like that, except it's you against everyone else on the opposite side. So I think it's really fun to be able to like give your side and persuade other people to join your side.
That's really cool, Mariam. So another club that I'm involved in is called Girls to STEM. So this is basically just a small group of high schoolers, and we go to Station Middle School every Monday, and we like empower middle school girls to be in STEM and like choose STEM careers when they're older. And we also like foster community and do tons of STEM related activities and stuff. So it's really fun. And so if you're a high schooler, then you should definitely join our board team, and you'll have a great time.
That sounds like a really great club, Tiya. Another activity that I'm involved in is Scholastic Bowl, which is basically competitive trivia. So if you know a lot of things, there's a wide variety of topics that you can study, and then you compete against other teams to see which one has more knowledge on the topic. And I think that's pretty cool. I've been involved in this since 6th grade, so it's been a long time for me, and it's a really fun club if you know a lot of things.
Another club that I'm in is the podcast club. We're all in this club together.
Woo!
This is such a fun club. I really encourage you guys to join. Honestly, there's so many different things that you could be a part of. Even if you just have ideas for segments, you could need ideas. You could help with editing. You could help with filming and talking if you love to talk. This is perfect for you. If you want to be more on the back side and do editing, you can do that too. There's so many different ways that you can get involved, and it's so much fun. We are all just this one huge group of friends, and we love doing it, and we encourage you guys to join.
Another club that I'm involved in is an a cappella group at the high school. It's called eHarmonies. So this is really fun, especially if you like to sing. We're just like a really close-knit group of friends, and we practice for concerts. We do these really cool arrangements, and we have all these amazing singers with us. So if you're interested in some performing arts clubs, then you should definitely try out for an a cappella group.
So this basically goes to show just what a wide variety of clubs and activities that are available at BHS. So if any of these caught your interest or anything else, be sure to join because it's really fun and it's great to be a part of something bigger than yourself. See you next time on Bronco Breakdown.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.